Hello, everyone. My name is Abhishek, and I'm here with one of the finest security practitioners that I've met in my career so far. So we have Matt Bunch from Tyson Foods. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing great, Abhishek. How are you doing today?
Cool, cool. So, uh, would you please like to share a little bit about yourself for our audience?
Sure. My name's Matt Bunch. I'm the CISO at Tyson Foods. I'm a native Arkansan, and Tyson's located here in Arkansas. So glad to be a part of today's discussion.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt, for making time for the discussion. So I met Matt in Bentonville, Arkansas, during that fuel program, and he is a mentor over there. And then Matt has been very kind to support the growth of our startup as well, and he has been helping the local startup scene a lot. So doing a lot of great stuff. I really recommend. So anybody in Midwest trying to build a company or business, connect with Matt. And so, Matt, you are you've spent your entire career in security engineering and developing products and making things happen for cybersecurity scene in Midwest area. And so now there is a new wave of technology that has taken over our enterprise, and which is artificial intelligence. And that there is a lot of ambiguity around it as well. There is a lot of nervousness and excitement. So I think it's a good nervousness, but then what does that mean from an enterprise point of view?
Well, it means a lot of things, but to get started, I'm very excited about the use of artificial intelligence, and we have to acknowledge that the use of AI is not new in many organizations. I think that with generative AI coming to a level of maturity the last few years, a lot of people are very surprised and are really looking at all the marketing hype. But realistically, we've been using AI in security and infrastructure operations for quite some time, and so I think this gives us a new opportunity to take a look at what we've been doing historically and where we could apply some good practices and principles, but also look forward to what generative AI and the new technologies can do for us and how we can use them. I know there's a lot of rhetoric around, hey, this can happen, that can happen, but it's another tool in our tool belt. So I'm very excited about having it. That said, there are threats and risks, just like any other tool and technology that we use that we need to address. So I'm ready for our peers and industries to start working on addressing some of those. But at the end of the day, you've got to go back to fundamentals and the foundational aspects of how you do security and infrastructure operations to get started on that.
Yes, so you mentioned a good point about going back to the basics and applying the fundamentals about it. So what are the some of the fundamental operations that you believe that industry is falling behind, that they should really focus on in order to adopt AI safely?
There are a couple of things that come to mind. The first is, no security organization can be successful unless you understand what you're managing, what you're trying to secure. And so understanding those assets. And so AI brings a number of different types of assets to bear, but realistically, they're all about things that we've looked at before. They're applications with embedded capabilities, they're APIs, there are other things to consider. But how do you make all of that work? You make it all work through identities and non-human identities, service accounts. And if we focus on where we're using that in an environment, I think you've got a good start in trying to understand what AI capabilities you may already have in place or could potentially add as far as integrations and just helping your customers get to data more quickly. Data is the second foundational item there, where you really need to think about what data you're going to expose. I think that's the real risk that we're all trying to address with AI at the end of the day, where we really want to understand the data, the classification of that data, the sensitivity of it, and better yet, the access controls around that data. So having a good foundation of where your data is, a good data governance program will help accelerate the use of AI. And then you just got standard security engineering questions and policies and other things that you need to consider with any of the AI models that you're using. You know, what data is going into them? Are you vetting it properly? And what data is coming out of it? Are you vetting it properly? And are you doing the right kind of testing and quality assurance on those results? So those are the three areas that I think that most organizations need to really consider when they start their AI journey.
So you mentioned, and I'll try to summarize what you said. So first point is to understand what you have, all those assets, let it be application and all other systems that are in their in your ecosystem. So I'm gonna summarize it as like have a thorough visibility within your organization of each and every asset that is in use, which is actually still an unsolved problem.
Mhm.
And the second one is having proper data governance, and that means understand what data you own and have a proper classification of data, whether it is a high risk data, sensitive data, or low risk data, and then plan accordingly. And once you have all this, then apply some policies on top of it, right, to ensure that AI is being safely.
Right.
Uh, did I miss on any point?
No, I think you captured the fundamentals. But what I think a lot of people get worried about is, do they know where all their identities are? Probably not. Do they know where all their data is? Probably not. But you shouldn't be afraid of getting started. You know, use the things that you know about and use that to move your program forward. You're never going to understand everything at the beginning of a process. And so you have to get started with what you've got. So if you do know that your customers or your solution, you want to expose certain sets of data through generative AI or other AI models, start there. Start with what you know. Start with the business problem that is going to help somebody be more productive or solves a specific issue. You don't have to know everything to just get started.
Fair point. Yes, I mean we gotta have to start from somewhere to cross the finish line. Uh, but then Matt, practical reality is that security teams are operating under a very tight budget, and they have very limited resources. My experience has been does so far is that you know we plan a lot as security practitioners. In my previous jobs as well, right? There was so much planning that happened, but when it comes to execution, we are limited to a very, phenomenally, very minimalistic budget,
Mhm.
right? So it's barely enough to keep the lights on. So in that scenario, I mean, having a thorough visibility, that is, solving the problem of shadow IT, one of the craziest problem today in the AI landscape, because now shadow IT will become shadow AI. Things will operate at crazy light speed. So, I mean, in a blink of eye, a lot more damage can happen, right? So that's one thing. And then the volume of data, the sheer, petabytes of data that we're going to be dealing with is unimaginably large scale. And classifying that data is there is so much probability of making errors over there. And even if you use AI to fix those things, I mean, AI is a probability equation that hallucinates, right? And then coming to policies, who is going to write these policies, right?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no. So to go back to what you said is that there are a lot of things that you need to consider with AI. You do have to get started somewhere, but you can get started with just understanding, what does your company want to do? What kind of usage do you want to accept or not accept? There's been shadow IT, business enabled IT, shadow AI forever. Yeah, and we may never address all of those challenges. But if we do look at what's the root cause of those, a lot of those are due to the technology teams and the business teams not being aligned on what the true outcomes of the business are, or a perceived slowness in delivery. And so what we can do with AI is use this to our advantage. Instead of manually coding an application, use AI and vibe code it, or you start introducing those principles so that your developers can execute more quickly. We implemented our RPA years ago, and that has helped so many organizations, but it was really a stopgap because we couldn't fix a business process. RPA really is about streamlining processes. And so by using AI and various capabilities, you should first start with looking at those business processes and streamlining them. Yes, we can talk about the technical, how do you make things talk to each other, and the hallucinations, but you need to decide what is really important to you. There are ways of taking results of AI, and yes, we know that they're going to hallucinate in certain scenarios, but what kind of quality, what kind of testing are you putting on there, and are you really asking the right question? Maybe AI is not the right answer in every area. If you need a deterministic answer, maybe you need to use a deterministic tool. But if you can deal with a little bit of hallucination or variability in the results, as long as you've got a QA testing capability that still proves everything out in the delivery within whatever you say is an acceptable range, be good with that and move forward with it.
Okay. That is a solid answer. Thank you for sharing that perspective. So to summarize, in safe AI adoption, cover the fundamental basics, have a proper visibility, get started from somewhere, right? Ask the right questions to yourself, to your team, and to your board to come up with the company priorities. And based on the scenario, pick a tool that where you want to use AI and where you don't want to use AI, and then understand your data better. Put in all the efforts to understand the data better, and then apply the policies with discipline.
Those are the fundamentals. And, no organization is going to have enough technology people or security people to go address every need of a business. But what we can do is use these tools to be much more effective than what we've ever been.
Cool. Yep. Perfectly right. Right. Perfect. Very well said. Thank you. And any final piece of advice, Matt, that you want to give to fellow security practitioners and budding CISOs?
What I would just say is that don't be afraid of jumping into the water with your teams, because I think we all need some education in how to use AI and what's going to allow all of us to be more productive. If you're not technical anymore, continue to use AI and help it generate reports and analysis and other things for you to streamline your research, your other things that you do on a daily basis. But challenge your teams to actually deliver agents or workflows or whatever capabilities are taking up a lot of manual time from your organization. And if you just have some specialized folks focus on creating some capabilities there, I think you're going to see that they're going to deliver some great results, and you're going to be able to plug those results into your program, ultimately reducing costs and making things go faster.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much for those valuable words, Matt, and really appreciate your time. And let's do it again soon. I hope our viewers also enjoyed this conversation and they learned something good out of it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Abhishek.